Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Gathering Movement. I'm here today with the beautiful Petia. We are going to be talking about how to align with your truest self and really how to build the life of your dreams. Welcome. I'm so grateful that you are here.
Thank you so much. Me too. It's like the happy ending of my week. You're like the only thing I'm doing today. So it's really exciting. And I love this topic. I feel like there is not enough, right? I mean, stepping into that abundance mindset, but like really bringing in even more of this topic. It's so important nowadays.
I love this topic personally, and I could talk about it forever as well. So I'm very excited that we can just riff on it. And the question I love to start with is one that reflects this show's intention, which is all about empowerment. It's all about being the leader of our own life. So, how would you say that your work in the world empowers people to be this leader, to be the person that they truly are?
You know what I really love that you are really highlighting? It's the being. Because you didn't ask me what to do, right?
Mm.
And that's something when people get the misconception. What are you doing? But it's not about what do I do. It doesn't matter what do I do. What really matters is who am I being? Because I inspire people by my being. I'm not telling you to do something that I'm not doing myself. I'm not going to tell you to go and meditate. I'm not going to tell you and do cleanses or juicing or read books and then do the opposite. So I truly inspire people by my being. And what I learned along my journey is that the energy is the most powerful thing we can ever work on and master, because when I learned to do the inner work and master my energy, everything comes to me so much easier. So it's not again what are we doing, but who are we being and who we are being now. Does it match the vision that we have of ourselves and our dream life?
Mm. As you're saying being, what I'm thinking, the word that's coming to me is presence. And it's like we all have this just true presence that supersedes anything that we do. And it sounds like your work in the world is to inspire people to be who they truly are. And one way that you do that is by being yourself, is by being the embodiment of like everything that you want to teach, right?
Exactly. Because, I remember when I moved to United States like 11 years ago, I went to the gym because it was like across the street. So I'm like, oh, I will like get fit, whatever. In my first spin class in my life, I walk into the room and the instructor was like, guy in his like maybe 30s 40s, but he was like a rocker, like all black and like beard and long hair, and the music was really loud, and he was obese. So I walk to the room and I feel complete disconnect, because he doesn't look like how I wanted to look. This doesn't feel like how I wanted to look. I want to feel good and like at ease, right? And so I feel that by the way we're being, when we are unapologetically ourselves, because I can guarantee you there were people in his class who are like, oh my gosh, dude, I love you, right? But for me, I'm like, well, that's not exactly what I am looking for, right? So when we embrace being unapologetically ourselves, that's when we make it easier, not only for ourselves, but also for others, right? Do I resonate with this? Do I really like this? And listen, I'm coming from long line of people pleasers, okay? Recovering people pleaser here. So I know how it feels like, oh, I want to love on others. I want to nurture them. I don't want to be seen. I want to be loved. What happens is that if you don't put yourself first, you cannot really help others. So, like you said, it's truly about who are you being and inspiring people by the way you're being. Because, it's like with little kids. I don't have kids yet. I don't know if you do. But what I learned in my life, it's kids won't do what you tell them to do. They're resistant. They're stubborn. They're like, nope, I don't want to do that. But if they see you doing it, they will do it. If you go and you eat pizza and, like drink soda, they will want to do the same. But if they see you eating fruits and vegetables and drinking water and running outside, they will want to come with you because they see you doing it. We're all like little kids, right? We are doing what we are seeing other people to do. It's like monkey see, monkey do, right?
It really is. I think about that a lot too with even parents who read books or are focusing on instilling values that the child can then just adapt through seeing the person be it, right? I love this topic, and something that I always love to highlight, because I'm a storyteller, I connect through stories, I share people's stories. I love to hear how you came to know this work. How did this work find you, as I like to ask it? Because we know that's typically it, right?
That's how it typically is. And I love it too, because like you said, you're a storyteller, but each and every one of us really connects through the stories. Just think about it. Like our brain understanding pictures and stories. That's why we can connect with stories when we hear it from others versus like getting the facts and bullet points, right? And I love the way you were asking, because you said like how this work found you. I wasn't looking for it. Trust me. I was so lost. I was so lost that I just couldn't even see out of the darkness. And as people are listening to us, some of them, they might be wondering, where's my accent from? So my accent, it's from me, but I'm from Czech Republic originally. I was raised and born there in a small town, and I was raised in a family where I was physically and mentally abused by my stepfather. And that led me believe that I'm really unlovable, that I'm unworthy, because I'm seeing my younger brother, who is 5 years younger than me, and he has whatever he wants, whatever he asks for, and I am the one who has to be cleaning, I'm the one who has to be picking up stuff, I'm the one who has to be working, and he's sitting and watching cartoons with my parents. And I was around like maybe 7 years old, and when I see my parents watching cartoons with my brother, and I have to be washing the floors, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why they don't love me like they love him? And when we ask these questions, especially as little kids, they're going so deep, because we don't understand the world. You cannot like explain it to yourself. You look around and you just want to feel safe. You just want to feel loved, and you would do anything for that survivor of that love. Like they're saying, the little babies who are not loved and taken care of, they die. That's why they have to be held. And we are the same way. We get to be held in the feeling that we are lovable. And when I was growing up like this, I thought I'm not. I thought that there's something inherently wrong with me. So, because I believe that, I was attracting circumstances and the evidence of something is wrong with me. So I step into the toxic relationship. And when I was 11 years old, I developed eating disorder. I had bulimia from 11 years old until almost 30, almost 2 decades of eating disorder. When I was 18, I ran away from home because my stepfather beat me up. And I ran away from home into the relationship that was like different faces, different places, right? But the same results. Toxic relationship with my ex-boyfriend, who was very abusive. And I attempted for suicide when I was 18, because I looked around me. I'm like, if this is it, I don't want to live it. And that was the story of my life up until 30 years old. It was changing places. I used to run, like literally physically. I was running and I hurt my knee, so I had to stop running physically, but I was still running away from myself and these circumstances. I moved to London when I was 20, then I moved to Spain, lived there for 4 years, then I moved to United States, and I'm here for 11 years now. I'm home here now. I'm not running, okay? But up until almost 30, I kept moving and running, and no matter what I did, I just felt that it's not enough. I did all the right things you can think of. I went to college, I did my bachelor's, I did my master's, I got married. Now I'm happily divorced, getting married again. Now this is the last one, I promise. Oh my gosh, this is the last one. It's too much. But it's like, for me, I was so stuck in my own way, because my belief was there is something wrong with me. And I believe that whatever we put out there, whether you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, it will say yes to you. I'm not worthy. Yes, Petia. I'm not lovable. Yes, Petia. Here is a guy who will beat you up. Here is a guy who will cheat on you, right? Like, here is your evidence. Because that's the belief. And what we believe, we look for the evidence for it, right? So this was going on up until I was almost 30 years old. And then I don't even know if it was like a rock bottom. People ask me when was the big shift, the big rock bottom. But for me, I was struggling really bad with eating disorder back then. I was physically, mentally exhausted, married with a narcissist, and I was feeling so empty and so alone. And I find myself crying on the floor, on my knees, and I'm like, something has to change. Because I was getting again to that point of, I don't want to be here. I don't want to live. Why? Why me? Why like this? There has to be more. I deep inside knew that I meant for more, but I couldn't see it. So thankfully, internet a decade ago, it wasn't as easy as it is now, okay? But I look at YouTube, I ask Uncle Google how to be happy, how to overcome suicidal thoughts, how to overcome eating disorder, because I was so desperate. When you're addicted to anything, whether it's shopping, whether it's food, whether it's, partners, whatever it is, it's sucking your soul because you're giving up on yourself, looking for the external. I used to be, just outsourcing my happiness and worthiness and thinking like, oh, when I'm in better relationship, I will be better off. When I have more money, I will be better off. When I release 10, 20 pounds, I will be better off. And I got all those things and I was still not better off. So doing all the right things and still not feeling right, that's when I found Louise Hay and her publishing. I love her to life. She literally saved my life. I started to listen to her. I started to listen to Joe Dispenza, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Tony Robbins, Les Brown, and all these people, because instead of listening my inner critic, instead of looking for what's wrong with me, I really needed a hope. I needed someone to make me feel that I am lovable. And I wasn't that person back then. How Lois Hay says, go to the mirror and say, I love you. I didn't do it. I didn't even go to the mirror because I didn't love myself. I didn't even like myself. But what I was open and willing to do, it's to accept myself. So that's where I started. Wherever you are, whoever is listening, wherever you are, just start where you are. Don't try to jump. If I would have tried to jump 5 years ago into being in a relationship that I have now, and I'm marrying my best friend, I love him to life, it's so much fun, right? I have an online business where I work only with soulmate clients. I love them so much. Like, they every single day remind me I am living on my purpose. And I built my 6-figure online coaching business in the 9 months when I align with who I really am. So if I can do it, you can too. But you get to start where you are and have a compassion and grace with yourself. I know it's a lot.
No, so beautifully stated. I can resonate with a lot of parts of this. And it's funny, a lot of people who come on the show, we all have this thread of like Joe Dispenza, Gabby Bernstein, Louise Hay. And it's no surprise, right? Of course, that this is the message I'm trying to share. Of course, these are the people who are going to be coming into the space. And I just thank you for continuing to put yourself first, even in like the darkest moments, because we do have challenge in this life. It's not always rainbows and daisies, I like to say. And sometimes it takes us going to these deeper places to understand the polarity of beauty, of love, of joy, of bliss, of abundance, and everything that we get to experience in this human world. So I'm curious for you, for the people who are listening that might be in that place of like, what the heck is life? What am I doing here? I don't get it. Feeling not too hot. They might see the title of this and be like, how to align with your true self and build your dream life. Like, what does that even mean? How am I going to get there? So what would you say for that person? How do they begin to align with the true self?
I love that question, and the first thing that I would like to bring up, it's if right now you're going through the darkness and confusion and you feel like you don't have clarity and you're just not feeling high on life, right? I remember a quote that I read many, many years ago, and it said, if you're going through the hell, keep going.
Yeah.
So just keep going, right? You get to keep going. So that would be the first step. And then I would like to break this title, this question, into two things, right? How to align with your true self and then build a dream life. You cannot build a dream life if you don't know who you are, right? So, how to align with your true self, you first get to know who you really are. So, very often we are conditioned by our teachers, by our family, by our partners, by our friends, by our environment. You will look and live differently if you're living in the middle of the nowhere in the woods, whether, versus living in the middle of the New York City, right? So, your environment is going to shape you, people around you are going to shape you. And then, very often, we just get disconnect from who we really are and why we came here. Because if you're feeling that you're not enough, or you're overwhelmed, or you're lacking clarity, it's because you're disconnected from who you really are. So to know who you truly are and align with it, because I'm all about alignment. When you align, everything else falls into the place. To align with who you really are, you gotta know who you really are. And that starts with your core values. Because instead of looking outside of you, what you're told you should be doing, or even if people mean it really well and they're like, oh my gosh, you are so amazing in doing this, you should be doing that. Like, oh, I could do that, right? And that's sometimes very dangerous too, because we slipped into that, oh, I could do this. My first business was social media marketing agency. And I did it because I'm great with relationships, because I know how to build relationships online and how to monetize it in a very authentic, organic way. So I did it because I could. But then I find myself working 7 days a week, being exhausted. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this really it? Am I supposed to work 7 days a week, falling asleep with my phone and laptop on my face, right? I'm like, this doesn't feel right again. So instead of doing the shoulds and the coulds, sit down and write down your core values. What is that you truly stand for? What is that you don't stand for? So what I did, my mentor did this years ago for me, and oh my goodness, it shifted everything for me. Take a piece of paper, divide it in two, and on one side, write down the things you don't stand for, and on the other side, what you do stand for. And then you go back and forth, 20 on each side. For example, I don't stand for hate, I stand for love. I don't stand for being cheap, I stand for generosity. You go back and forth, and then when you're done, you take a different pencil, different color, and you just circle the three things you do stand for. Those are your core values. And not only you write it down, like, okay, cool, I'm done, my life, it's not changing, what's happening? No, you got to embody those core values. Because when I look at my core values and I look at growth, generosity, and loyalty, I look at my business and I look at my relationship. I'm like, uh-oh, Petia, what are you doing? Nothing was aligned. I wasn't acting based on my core values because I wanted to be loved, because I wanted to be seen, right? So I'm like, okay, we're not doing this anymore. Let go of my 5-year relationship, let go of my business, let go of my clients. And I gotta remind you, you never start from zero. It's not like Petia is telling you drop everything and like run. Please don't. Do it safely. Like if there is a relationship that doesn't work for you, can you renegotiate it? Can you see if you can speak with therapist or coach, right? So it's not like drop everything and run. But for me, that was like the last drop of knowing this is not for me. So when you have those three core values, I had it in my wallet, on like a business card. I put it in my bathroom. I had it in my office. I had it everywhere to remind myself and to check in with myself. Does this really align? Does this align with who am I being and where I'm going? So these are the core values. That's the first and super important part of building your dream life. And dream life, what does it really mean? If you're going through the darkness and if you're feeling low and insecure, you're like, well, dreams are for others. I got to work really hard, right? To deserve the space in this world. So what I would invite you to do is you can either journal about it or you can visualize it. I love writing things down because I feel that when we write things down, we bring the non-physical into the physical. In an ideal life, ideal scenario, if you could do anything, have anything, the time, it's no issue, money, it's no issue, what would you be doing? And really go from the rising until the end of the day. What are you doing? Where are you waking up? What are you like, with who you are waking up? What do you have for breakfast? What do you do to create impact and income throughout the day? How do you spend your day? How do you end your day? What is it? What does it feel like, look like really go into the details. Because if you don't know how you want your life to look like and feel like, how are you going to ever achieve it? You will keep going in this hamster wheel and feeling like never enough time, never enough money, my relationship sucks, right? So I think it's very important to check in with yourself and create that. So breaking this into 2 points and breaking it back home into the one. First, you got to know yourself, you got to know your vision, and then check in with yourself and your vision. And it might seem really far fetched. I remember like 3 years ago, I did maybe it's already four almost. Uh, anyway, I created my dream life, but I put it in a bedroom on my door. So anytime I'm passing in and out, I look at it. And what I did is I took two highlighters. And what I did is I highlighted the things that I already have with one highlighter. And with a second highlighter, I highlighted the things that I want or desire that I don't have yet, but I choose one thing at a time. 3 years ago, I asked to have a team that it's going to support me and help my vision, because 4 years ago, I was doing all by myself. My website, my podcast, my everything. Now I have a team of 9 people, and I'm so thankful. You see, but like 3 years ago, I'm like, how am I going to ever afford it? How am I going to do this? I was in survivor. I was in scarcity. But then when we really believe and let it unfold, your thoughts will bring it to you, because again, your brain, it's looking for the evidence. So when you're looking for the evidence of people who love you, support you, and want to share your vision with you, you'll find them.
I love the way that you broke down the two parts of this, and something that I really align with is core values. And we speak the same language, because one thing I literally say is, what do you stand for? What do you stand for? If the person wants to be on a podcast, if they want to speak, if they want to be in a book, what do you stand for? And I don't think that we've in life given ourselves, or maybe been given the opportunity to ask ourselves those deeper questions. Maybe we've been scared or nervous. So I love to go there. And then secondly, about dreaming, something that I've felt in my own life, and I've felt this with clients, is sometimes we haven't ever allowed ourselves to dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've never even gone there. So you give people this space and this invitation to go there freely and to dream as big as we want to dream. And I love the dreamers, because that's how this world is made. That's how this world is built. Someone has an idea, a vision, and we bring it into the world. So I love that. I'd love to transition a little bit into your business. The way I see our businesses is they are really a vessel to change consciousness, especially with what we're doing in the world. I'm here to share stories. I'm here to amplify voices. You're here to empower people, to remind them how amazing they actually are and help them build a business as they do so. So let's hear it. I want to hear who you work with, everything. I love talking about this.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much first of all, for creating this space, right? So each and every one of us, we can really share why we are here. And when people ask me, why am I coach, right? Why am I coaching women? And for me, the easiest answer and the short answer is, I became the one that I needed on my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I truly empower women and help women. And again, I'm embodiment, right? I walk through that path, and it doesn't have to take you a decade or two as it took me. I'll take you, and it can take you weeks or months, right? So I shorten the path for women so they don't have to invest so much time, energy, and money. Let's be honest. And I chosen to work only with women because it lights me up. And I truly am in a place of my life that I do mostly the things that light me up, because I know that when I'm lit up, I light up the things and people around me. And my clients call me lighthouse or angel. And it's like I am humble, and I am like wholeheartedly taking it, because it's new for me. I was usually the black sheep, right? I was the troublemaker. And now I am being called Angel and being the lighthouse, but I work with women who have a passion to be helping other people. And many of them are still at work. They have a side hustle. They know they're meant for more. They have this desire on their heart. Like, I know I'm here for more, but I don't know what that more is. I don't know how to do it. I am in a job and I have to pay my bills. Some of them are single moms, so it's like, how do I get out of this cycle? So I work with them to heal their past, bring in the inner child healing. I use neurolinguistical programming, qigong, meditation, hypnosis. I'm getting certified in after my wedding. After my wedding and after I host retreat in 3 weeks here in Las Vegas, I'm getting certified as a breathwork teacher. So I have all these beautiful modalities. I'm also using human design because I am here not to fit like in a box and do one thing with you. I'm here to align you with your purpose and with your true self. And for you, Bridget, is going to be different than for, other women. I cannot come to you and say like, hey, let's do this one thing and this is going to fix your life. Nothing will fix your life. We gotta come to you, heal your past, see who you are in the present moment so we can, from the present moment, create the future that feels good to you. And all the women that I work with are here to help others. So that's who I am.
I need to know your human design.
A generator, 5-1.
I'm a generator also. Can feel the light energy.
That's why I said I only do things that light me up. And it's fascinating because right now I'm working with 3 mentors. I have marketing and business mentor, I have spiritual and health mentor, and then I have a human design mentor that I'm working now with weekly. And I was telling her, I was like, Brandy, I just hate reels. It's just sucking my soul. I don't want to do that. And this and this. And she was like, why you're doing it? I was like, well, because it's the new thing, right? And I want to get more exposure and help more people. So it's not like I want to be like seen and applauded, but I want to help more women, right? She was like, well, but if you're doing it, then you're not lit up. Why you're doing it? I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. Like, how we are in it, we cannot see. That's why I wholeheartedly believe in coaches and mentors. And like some of my clients, they work with therapists and me. Some of my clients are therapists and work with me because we get to expand of who we are being here. And like you can tell, but I'm so lit up by doing this work. I just love it. I love it. And I want other people to be in a place they're excited to wake up. Like I share with you my past. I was depressed. I was in toxic relationship. I was harming my body with bulimia and cutting my hands. And I felt like completely lost cause. And look at me now. I have a business with 5-figure income that comes to me easily. Girl, I work 2-3 days a week. And this is my work.
I can feel it. Like it's so obvious that you are the embodiment of your work, of what you teach, all of it. Like I just have the biggest smile, and when your face hurts, that's where we're at right now. Thank you for doing your work. Thank you for sharing your story in spaces like this as well, because I think sometimes with social media we can see just the highlight reel. We see all the beautiful things, and like we all have a story. We've all come from somewhere, but as I like to say, our story doesn't define us. We get to really choose who we want to be, and we can use those experiences as experiences and lessons and teachers, but we get to choose ultimately. So let's end with 2 questions. Number 1, what is the message that you feel like if you were to close your eyes, it probably will come to you immediately? What is the message that is meant to come through you today to empower someone else?
You're perfectly made for your purpose. I want them to know, because so often we are trying to change and shape who we are being depending on where we are and who we are with. But when you realize you're perfectly made for your purpose, the way you look, the way you think, even your accents, everything, your likes, your dislikes, you're perfectly made for your purpose. And that will unfold into, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right people. They will get you. They will understand you. You can clarify, but you don't have to explain yourself. And knowing this brings so much inner freedom that is priceless.
And how can people find you? What's coming up next for you? Let's hear it.
Besides my wedding in a week, that's like the big one, but that's already capped out for people coming in. I'll share pictures, but my favorite place really, it's my Instagram. We connected there too. I love my Instagram. It's my name, Petia Kolibova. I also have a free Facebook group, Unapologetically Abundant Woman, where I do my trainings and go a little bit deeper, because that's like really safe space community for women who wants to grow. Those are my two favorite places. And right after my wedding, I am hosting Women's Weekend Retreat here in Las Vegas called Abundantly Aligned. It's all about alignment, where not only I am there with Women 101, really going deep, but I also have different speakers and facilitators. So it's really very rich and life-shifting, all-inclusive experience.
Amazing. Well, I'm so happy for you on so many levels. First of all, marriage, the wedding, so exciting. But just thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been so beautiful. I always like to say, when I get to interview people, it's like medicine for me too. I get to be reminded of the things I know, but sometimes we forget, and we just need that mirror from time to time to remind us of truth. So thank you so much, Petia.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for first creating the space for me to be able to share me and, share with others what can help them on their journey, but also for the work you're doing in general, because it's so beautiful, so needed, and so appreciated.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who supports this show and supports the mission of amplifying powerful stories and sharing the voices that aren't always being shared. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope everyone just has the most beautiful weekend ahead. See you later.